y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Six Figure Vet Podcast, where we showcase the success stories of Black and Brown veterans that have successfully unlaced the boots. Now, today, we will be talking about the benefits of AI for the veteran population. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, ham. We're going to be talking about AI and how you can use it as a cheat code when planning for your success during your transitioning phase or your plan for success if you've already gotten out of the military and you're currently in veteran status. Disclaimer, this is not a paid promotion video, okay? This is not paid promotion. I am doing this review and I am doing this video, this podcast episode based solely on my own free will without any monetary gain. The purpose of this video is to basically spread the knowledge of how AI can be used to help you transition out of the military in different ways. A lot of people don't know about AI or how to use AI or even how to access AI. And I've used it. I know a lot of people that I know used it, and it has been a game changer. So I want to make sure that I'm spreading the knowledge. But before we get too hyped, we need to talk about some myths. A lot of people are hesitant as it comes to AI, and I know it's kind of like, girl, they're trying to replace the human race. Okay, yeah, we're not even, no, that's not what's happening. So let's take a minute to address some of these elephants in the room about these myths that are floating around as it concerns AI and something called ChatGPT, which is the platform that I will be mostly talking about or referring to as it comes to using AI today. Okay? Myth 1. AI is here to replace the human race. Not true. AI is here for the human race to use as a tool. Okay? ChatGPT is a tool, not a replacement for human skills or creativity. Okay? It is a tool, not a replacement. You can kind of think of it as like your assistant, not as in a competitor. It can help you brainstorm, write drafts, do research, write proposals, do pitch decks, come up with content creation ideas, come up with financial goals. But at the end of the day, you are the one that's adding the unique touch. You are the one that's assigning it things to think about. You are the one with the insight and the authenticity that no AI can replicate. Okay? Period. That's just kind of what that is. Okay, so now that we've debunked myth number 1, let's move on to myth number 2 because this is a big one. Okay, stay with me. It's only for tech experts or people in certain career fields, and that is just not true. ChatGPT or any other AI platform isn't just for the coders or the tech girlies or tech bros. It's literally for everyone, whether you're applying for jobs, writing an essay, building a business, or trying to think of ways to successfully transition out of the military. You can use AI. You can use ChatGPT. If you have an idea or you have a question and you don't know how to execute, that's literally what it's there for, to help you brainstorm and come up with the way to do that. Okay, so you don't have to be in the tech field. You don't have to have a certification in C++ or whatever it is in order to use AI. You don't. So let's just get that thought get that thought out of our heads right now. It's not made for that, or it's not only made for that. Let's say that. Okay. You don't need to be a tech wizard to use it. If you can type a text or ask a question, baby, then ChatGPT and AI is made for you. As stated before, AI is a tool to help humans. It's a tool that helps you learn, create, and execute a lot faster. Point blank, period. Like it's an enhancer pretty much. And if anything, it shows you, for me, if it's anything, it shows that you're more resourceful and you know how to use technology to your advantage. Okay, myth number 3, ChatGPT or AI is 100% accurate. I don't believe that. Now, this video is about the positives and how we can use ChatGPT or AI to get ahead. Yes, I know, but anything like this needs to be double checked. Okay, so you don't take ChatGPT's word as the end all be all. If you go there and you're looking for resources or you're looking for specific information, double check. If it's telling you to do If you're trying to write a grant for a specific company, go to their website after you pull the information off of ChatGPT. It's trained on a lot of information. Do not get me wrong, but it doesn't always get everything right. Stay with me. For example, it might mix up facts or give outdated information. So it might tell you something from, say you're researching something about your VA benefits or how to do something. It might give you a fact from 2023. And we know that NAV admins and VA policies are always changing. So if it's something of high importance, I will always advise to go to the source to validate the information that you're getting from ChatGPT. That's why you need to fact check anything it generates, especially if you're using it for your veteran benefits. Okay. We all know that if you get one letter wrong on a form or something like that, then it's possible for a kickback. So you just want to make sure that if you're using it for something critical like VA benefits or for certifications, that you're double checking with the main source that it's providing. And it will provide you those sources. So it takes like 2 seconds to go to that source, go to their homepage or go to their website and double check what ChatGPT has told you. Okay. So use it as a starting point, not the final say. What is ChatGPT? Now that we've broken down what the myths are, debunked them, it's time to move on to what ChatGPT and AI really is. All right. Now that I've eased your mind and told you and debunked all of these myths, I done told you what it ain't. So now let me tell you what it is. Okay. Think of it as a super smart virtual assistant you can talk to, like Siri or Alexa, in your pocket all the time or on the desktop. Okay. So it's going to be a super smart assistant. But it's like extremely more powerful. So like I said, today we're going to be talking about ChatGPT, which is my favorite AI platform. And this is where you can brainstorm, write, organize information. And I mean like seconds. Yes, that fast. You literally type something in and ask it a question. And later on in the episode, I'm definitely going to give you some prompts. That's kind of what people call their questions that they plug in. Give you some prompts to use to plug into ChatGPT. And it literally spits out facts like fire. Like it takes a couple seconds for it to come up with the information. It's a 24/7 resource that doesn't need a coffee break and weekends off. I mean, it don't really get no much better than that, Saint. You don't get no much better than that. From figuring out what type of civilian jobs would match your MOS or your rate, to writing an amazing resume or even scripting a pitch deck for grants or figuring out a grant list, ChatGPT can help you do that. All the way down to breaking up your finances to crunch the numbers to see how much you need to save, how much you need to make to maintain the same lifestyle or a better lifestyle after exiting the military. Okay, so let's get into why AI is important for veterans and active duty service members that have decided to transition out. As a veteran's life coach, I see veterans get out all the time, and their main focus or their main problem that they think is the main problem is locating a job or figuring out how to convert their military experience into something valuable in the civilian world. Right. I know on this platform, I've talked a couple times about how certain rates or MOSs in the military, it just doesn't convert over. Like, what am I supposed to do? Especially like if you're in something like infantry, like I can't go around shooting people. Maybe, but and maybe I don't want to be a police officer. No tea, no shade. But it's certain things just they have a really hard conversion rate. And when I meet these active duty service members or transitioning service members or veterans that have these rates, they're completely lost because, for one, if they do find something that is relatable to their job, they don't want to do it. And they don't even realize how many other jobs they qualify for because they don't know how to convert their military experience over into the civilian side. Like what type of managerial roles they qualify for because of the experience that they have had in the military. Okay, yes, you might have been a cook, or yes, you might have been supply, but that is, you are over people. That's managerial stuff. You are, doing inventory. That's supply chain management. You've done so much that converts over to corporate America if that's what you so choose. For example, if you are at LS, which is a logistics specialist, or 92 Bravo in the Army, I believe, like me, it can help you highlight transferable skills like supply chain management or team leadership. Let's be real. Military resumes don't always hit. First of all, what is a military resume? Let's start there. So your military resume are your evals. Whenever you go over boards, whenever you are submitting packages, they're asking for your evals because that's going to tell them what you done did in a really nice way. That's what that's going to tell you. So tell them. So they're asking for your military resumes, but civilian recruiters can't understand that language. This is where ChatGPT comes in. You're going to take ChatGPT can help you reframe your experience in a way that makes sense to civilian recruiters. Okay, so how does it do that? I'm getting there. So, how do you do that? So glad you asked. Bet. So let's break this down. You're going to take your awards, your evals, any positive write-ups, all that. You're going to take all that information. You're going to highlight it. You're going to copy and paste it into a Word document. Everything that you think is fancy, smanchy. You're going to take all that, and then you're going to plug it into ChatGPT. It's no character limit also. Okay. So you're going to plug all that information into ChatGPT. After you plug that information into ChatGPT, you're going to ask it, give me a list of jobs that match these qualities. What jobs in the civilian world match these qualities? Then you could plug in your rate or your rate or your MOS and say, and this was my MOS. And then it's going to populate a whole list of things that you could do on the civilian side based off of the information you just fed it. Now we're going to take it a step further. So then you're going to take that information that ChatGPT just gave you, right? You're going to take those jobs and then you're going to go on LinkedIn. Then you're going to go on Indeed. Then you're going to go on Glassdoor. You're going to take those jobs and then you're going to plug them in. And you're going to find the ones with the best salary, right? In the area that you want to live in. And then you're going to pull those job descriptions. You're going to highlight those job descriptions and you're going to say, hey, create me a resume based off of these job descriptions and make it match with my with my write-ups that I just gave you. Create me a resume, create me a master resume. And it's going to do it. So now you just created, using your old evals, which you already had, ChatGPT and these job descriptions, you just became a whole career development coach for yourself. Just that fast. Then, once you have a master resume that ChatGPT just created for you because you fed it all your information and you gave it your evals and you gave it the job descriptions that you just went and found. Now, as you're looking for jobs and you're applying for jobs, you're going to take those same job descriptions for every new job and you're just going to update your resume. Hey, ChatGPT, take this resume, take this job description, highlight my qualities in a resume for this specific job description. We're talking minutes, y'all. Minutes. That's how long that's going to take. Something else that I want my military, my veterans to start also realizing: your rate and your rank are two different things. Your rate or your MOS is your actual job, right? It's your actual job. Your rank is how high you got. Okay, y'all get this. This is just really for my civilian people that be listening in because we love them too. However, those things matter on the outside. So even though, y'all, he gonna kill me when he hear this. But I got a homeboy, okay? I got a homeboy. I ain't even gonna shout him out. But his rate was really, really hard to convert. Like very hard to convert. And he got out as like a E7. Yeah, he got out as an E7, but because he had so much time in rank and he was in the military so long and he was an E7, guess what? He qualified for jobs that had nothing at all to do with his rate or with his MOS. He qualified for them. So he was a SH, which is a RS now, right? Now he's in tech. Now he has a very great corporate job based off of his rank in the military. Seeing E5, E6, E7, those things matter. They're not going to matter if you just put that down, but if you plug your rank, yes, I was an E7, I was an LS2, I was an LS1. If I plug that into ChatGPT and then tell it to curate jobs based off of my rank, right? Because that's telling ChatGPT, this is how much experience I have. This is the managerial level I was at when I was getting out the military. That's what that's telling ChatGPT. So you want to make sure that you're also plugging in your rank as well as your MOS and your rate to get two different sets of jobs, okay? Because that's really important. A lot of people don't know that. Another great thing that ChatGPT can do, and this is for I know getting out the military, salary negotiation is something that can be super intimidating. We don't know our value because we've been given our value for how many every years you're in the military, and when you make rank, that's when you get a raise. But going into these jobs, there's a such thing as negotiation. Okay, so ask ChatGPT after all the information that you just put in, how do I negotiate a salary? Where should I be starting off at? Then, like I said, since ChatGPT is 100% accurate all the time, let's go to Glassdoor. So let's make sure that the information that we're using from ChatGPT is accurate by validating it with other sites. So, quick example, I have another homeboy, that use ChatGPT to research certifications, write his resume, and even create a study plan for his CompTIA Security Plus exam. Okay? Yes, he literally put in all these different prompts to create study plans to see, okay, how long is it going to take me to do this? How do I accomplish that? This man went from an E6 to landing a six-figure cybersecurity job in less than 6 months by using ChatGPT. So these aren't just ideas or, what if. These are tried and true proven strategies that other veterans have used in order to get ahead using ChatGPT. And they are just like you and me. They're just like us. There's no different. They literally just plug the information in and execute it. That's a big one, okay? That he executed. But the best part about all this, he saved himself so much time and so much money by doing this. When you get out, there's going to be, there you can hire a career coach, hire a resume writer. All that stuff is expensive. ChatGPT is a free tool that you can use to do all of this that costs you absolutely nothing. Now, they do have a paid version that does produce more up-to-date information, but like I said, cross-reference. So if you feel like something isn't up to date, you can literally just validate it by going to the site. And of course, I wouldn't be me if I didn't make up the money, honey. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest, or maybe the main thing that I hear veterans talk about when they are transitioning out is, okay, what I'm about to do for money. Am I going to get disability? How am I going to be able to replace my incomes? Because let's just be honest. For the last 5 to 20 years, depending on how long you stayed in, you knew one thing for sure. You were going to get paid on the 1st and you were going to get paid on the 15th. And you might got paid a little early if you have Navy Federal, okay? So those things were automatic. So as it relates to the funds, First things first, most veterans want to know are, where are you going to stand financially? ChatGPT can help you create a detailed picture of not only your current finances, but where you need to be financially in order to successfully transition out of the military. I know a lot of people that got out did amazing. They, are excelling, but I also know a lot of people that got out and struggled initially because they did not plan properly. Okay. So, for example, you can say, ChatGPT, this is a prop. So you can type in ChatGPT, I make $3,500 after tax in the military, and my expenses are X, Y, and Z. So this is going to require you to actually go through your books and figure out where your money going. Okay. You're going to have to do that. And then ask it to help you break down a budget. ChatGPT will organize everything into categories like housing, food, fund money, expenses, all these things. It will do it for you if you plug in the information. Another major thing that I think veterans, miss is the income gap. There might be a time where as soon as you get out, there might be a little gap in your income, especially if you want to take a break, which I always advise every veteran to do. You need at least like a 3 to 6 month break before you go back to work. I didn't take that and I regretted it. And I ended up like just making some poor decisions because I didn't take that break that I needed after transitioning out. You're not going to be able to do that if you don't have your finances in order. Okay. So plan for that gap from your last military paycheck, from your first military paycheck. And if that break is not something that's sustainable for you, there might be a time frame in between. Like say you get out and you didn't take leave, you didn't take, terminal leave or something like that. And there's a break in your pay. That's something that you can calculate in ChatGPT by including in an emergency fund, how much money you need in your emergency fund for that gap. So this part really doesn't have anything to do with ChatGPT. This is just like some extra game for y'all. Plan for expenses that you didn't have prior to being in the military, well, prior to getting out the military. Okay. Those perks of having BAH, BAS, TRICARE, especially you don't automatically get, even if you file for disability and you have a strong possibility of getting 100%, you don't get it the day that you walk out of the door. Okay, there's going to be a waiting period for your disability. So even if you are banking and it's almost a guarantee that you're going to get compensated, there's going to be a time where you have to wait. So plan for BAS. How you going to buy food? How you going to have a house, shelter? Plan for that stuff. Okay. Also, well, maybe this does have something to do with ChatGPT, but also, you can ask it questions like, what are the average care for health insurance for a family of 4 in the state that I plan on moving to? Say you live in Virginia. You get out from Virginia, but you plan on going back to Georgia because that's where you're from and that's where the family at, and POP hold it down. Okay. Let's just say that. You can ask ChatGPT, hey, what is the cost of health insurance in Georgia for a family of 4? And it's going to give you the average rating. And then of course you can go to different sites, different health insurance companies, and look at their sites and see the average rate. But as stated before multiple times, because I'm gonna keep saying it, it's a starting point. Okay. Don't take it as the end all be all. Also, something to calculate in are taxes. If you're moving from a state that doesn't have taxes to a state that does, although say you make $5,000 in the military after tax, a lot of the money that we get after tax is untaxable, like your BAS, like your BAH. None of that is taxed. So it's keen, or it would be smart of you to not try to get a job that says, oh, we'll pay you $5,000 a month, because you haven't calculated in those taxes. And when you were making $5,000 a month in the military, a lot of it was untaxed. And you can ask ChatGPT, okay, if I bring in $5,000 a month, from this job, how much is it going to be taxed if I live in X, Y, and Z state? Those are things that are important so you can see, okay, this is the amount of money I need from a job to sustain myself. That's important. You can kind of analyze that, do a whole SWOT of, okay, if I made X, Y, and Z in the military, but I know that was taxed, and if I make the same amount of civilian where I know it's going to be lower because of taxes and more of my money is getting taxed versus when I was in. Another thing, one of the biggest mistakes transitioning service members and veterans make is not taking full advantage of the benefits. Okay. And I understand that there's so many out there, and that in your TAPS or CAPS or whatever they call it now, they really don't do a good job of breaking down what benefits that we are entitled to. Y'all already know I'm going with this. Do I gotta say it? I'm gonna say it anyway. ChatGPT. Yes, you can go to ChatGPT and ask it, what benefits am I entitled to as a disabled veteran in my state? Because certain benefits vary by state. What benefits am I entitled to just as a veteran with no compensation that's not disabled? What benefits? How can I use my GI Bill? How can I use my VA loan? Like, how do I access those things? There's so much stuff that are left on the table, and since this podcast really focuses on Black entrepreneurship and success, there are a lot of resources for veteran-owned businesses that I know that we're not utilizing because we just simply don't know. Don't worry though, because season 200, we're going to get into some of them. However, back on topic, we don't know about a lot of these resources, and ChatGPT is an easy way to overcome gatekeeping, because a lot of the stuff that we don't know, a lot of other people do know, if you know what I'm trying to say. This is a tool that you could use to overcome that. And not only will it tell you the benefits that you are missing out on, ask it how to use them. Tell me that's not fire. Tell me that's not fire. Okay, if you are a business, hey, I'm a disabled veteran. What grants am I entitled to for my business? If I'm a disabled veteran that also owns a business, because you're technically a minority now. What type of funding can I get from the government for being a veteran-owned business? What are the perks of being a veteran-owned business? All those things. Ask ChatGPT, and then allow it to tell you, and then ask it how to use it. Okay, y'all. So before we wrap up, I just want to go over some quick tips to get the absolute most out of ChatGPT. I know I've hit you guys with a lot of information, but go back and re-listen to this video as many times as you need to. The first tip I want to give is be specific. The more detail you provide to ChatGPT, the better the outcome. So let me give you an example. Instead of going to ChatGPT and saying, hey, I'm a veteran and I need a resume, say, ChatGPT, write a resume for a E5 logistics specialist that completed 8 years with experience in wherever you work. So if you worked in mail, if you worked in S1, which is like, the hub, if you worked in directly with supply chain, which is like S8, or with aviation, which is S6, like, be specific. Okay, be as specific as possible, and then keep asking. So if it gives you feedback and it's still not detailed enough, tell it to elaborate. Which goes into point number 2. Iterate. Don't settle for the first draft. Just because it gives you the first thing, that doesn't mean that you can't refine it. So ask it to revise it. Ask it to add more details. If you're writing a resume and then it only gives you 1 bullet point per section, which is of course not enough, tell it to add more. Tell it to elaborate in certain sections that you want it to really tone in on. Tell it to make it better, right? You can do that. Number 3, check for accuracy. Again, ChatGPT is a very powerful tool that we all should be using, but it is not perfect. Always, 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 always fact check. So if you're especially if it's coming, something related to the VA or something related to your benefits. Go to the VA website and double check and make sure that it is correct. If you're looking for a certification, especially as it relates to a job or the tech industry, and it's telling you these are the qualifications, research those websites. Go to the parent company and see if it's correct. I'd rather you double check a bunch of times than you get the wrong information. And like I said, it's a starting point to something. It is not the end all be all. All right, y'all. That is it for today's episode. Remember, your transition from the military life doesn't have to be stressful. Tools like ChatGPT or any other AI platform can make it smoother. Start using it to unlock your full potential and take your first step towards a six-figure success. If you found this episode to be helpful, please do me a favor and subscribe to this YouTube channel. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you get your podcasts. This has been another successful episode of the Six Figure Vet podcast. Six Figure Vet is out. Hey y'all, it's a Six Figure Vet here. If you or any other active duty service member or veteran that you know is suffering with suicidal ideation, substance use, or mental health disorders, please tell them to call 988. The number is 988. They're trained crisis responders waiting to take their calls. You don't have to suffer in silence.